Welcome back to Home with the Edwards. I just realized that the last update that we gave was October, like our last real update on the property, our vlog style was the last week of October. And it is now February, so it's been 4 months. The last video I put out there, I think we had just, we were preparing the grounds for the winter. We were preparing for an auction. We had just moved our stuff out of storage and into, I was removing the mold from our outdoor patio or our covered patio so I could put our storage in there. And then we were moving into my parents' house who had just bought a house out here, and we're staying there while they were selling their house in Colorado. So here we are. A lot has happened since then, and I was going back through all of the videos and was going to put together this video. So since then, we have done a ton of yard work. I feel like that's what we've been doing nonstop, but we prepared the yard for the winter. We added some compost in some areas. We added mulch everywhere that we think that we are going to be gardening this spring. We did that. We mulched a bunch of leaves. We had so many leaves. We still have leaves falling. It's like February, we still have leaves falling on the ground. So we did that. We pretty much cleared out our tiny house. It's now ready to start the renovation process. Anything from the auction that we didn't sell, I'll just get into that because I want to talk to you today about the auction. There was such a big event, I guess, and it wasn't a big event in itself, but the process of it. And when we were in Colorado, we had an estate sale, which is different. And I know many of you have probably had garage sales. So I just wanted to look at our auction, and this video is going to be a little bit about our auction vlog style, but also the difference between an auction, an estate sale, and a garage sale. And if you yourself find yourself in this position of having to downsize or buying a property that comes as is with a bunch of stuff on it, what is the best option?
In 2019, we outgrew our house, so we downsized to a home on wheels. We built out our Sprinter van and traveled the country until we decided to buy a property, a home on land. We are Marcus, Janie, Rhea, and Kaya.
Let's talk about 3 viable options. You have 1 garage sale, 2 auctions, 3 estate sale. So I think they all have their places and they all have their pros and cons. And so let's start with garage sale. Garage sale is a great way to just kind of go through your house, get rid of stuff. The downside to it is typically your demographic is going to be looking for something very, very cheap. We're talking less than $1. People will start trying to talk you down from $1 to 75 cents, like a quarter of a difference. But it's a good way to get rid of things. If your goal is to get rid of things, to give it a new home and clear space out, that's an awesome option. Okay, so then you have auctions and estate sales. And so when we were in Colorado, we did an estate sale when we got rid of everything in our house. And we were gonna hire a company, but when I asked a lady, I ran the numbers. She gave me the numbers because she was gonna charge me a certain amount to come through and go through everything and price it. And then they were gonna take a percentage of everything, which I think is pretty common. But when I ran the numbers, I think I was gonna end up paying her. And that seemed really silly because at this point, we were getting rid of everything that we loved, everything that I had intentionally bought to fit our space. It wasn't just, junk or stuff that I didn't like. It was stuff that I loved. And I'm this doesn't make any sense to me. So we chose to do our estate sale on our own. And I had a couple good friends that throughout a period of maybe a couple weeks came over and helped me price things. We did have to spend some time going online and looking up ideas of how much to price everything, because you have to price everything yourself. You have to price it all. But it was because it was such like good quality stuff, and I think also the market and the demographic of where we were at, it worked. It was incredible. I was blown away actually how much money we made. I think we made, not just from the auction, because I think we also did stuff on Marketplace, but when we sold everything from our house, I want to say we sold between $7,000 and $8,000. And so it was a huge success. I mean, it was crazy. We had people, like when we opened up the doors or that morning, people were lined up around our house to get in and to buy stuff. And we just priced everything, and people paid just like they were going to a store. I think we may have like worked out some deals for people that bought a lot of stuff, but it was wild. There were so many people there. I don't remember exactly how it all went down, but it's an option. Definitely. I feel like the benefits of that is if you have a lot of high quality stuff that you want to get rid of, and you're willing to take the time to price everything and to put it all together, it's a great option. Now here, and we did an auction at our new place, and I don't think an estate sale would have worked. We hired a company to do the auction, and just kind of talking to him about the demographic of where we were. I don't know that, for one, we had so much stuff here, and it wasn't like organized. So with the estate sale, it was like I had everything, and it was organized, if that makes sense. With this, like at our property that we bought, I mean, there were like bins full of trinkets and bins full of screws and nails and just books galore. It was just, there was so much that going through and pricing everything would not have been worth our time. And there's a good chance that people probably wouldn't have purchased it. And so going to some auctions now and understanding how they work a little bit, you know, you're going to hire an auctioneer. There's no way we could have done this on our own. For one, doing the whole auctioneer blues, hey, but it was 100, give me 100. See, not going to be able to do it. I told Rhea, my daughter, she could do it. But they also have like quite a system between the people that are working, because they have an auctioneer, but then they have people staged to hold up the item and to get people to bid, and then they watch. And they usually start at a higher price, and if nobody bids, they lower it, and then finally somebody will put their hand up in the air, and then it goes up from there. A lot of times it ends up going higher than what they originally started, but people want to start down lower. And if it's a good item and it's worth it, it's gonna go up. Now, with our items, some of the items that we had were just things that, I wouldn't say that they were junk, but it wasn't something that somebody was going to bid high on. And so rather than trying to sell that one thing, they would add items to what they were selling. So if they were selling a little box of tools and people weren't bidding on it, they'd be like, okay, let's throw this in, and then somebody would buy it. We had a same thing, great success at this one. I think we paid them, I think we had to pay like $600 in advertising, and then maybe we paid them a percentage. I don't remember what the percentage was, maybe 10%. And I think we came out making a couple $1,000. And one of that, I mean, the big ticket item was, there was a truck on the property that didn't have a title, but I think that went for like $1,000. But there was a lot of other like small items, not a lot of huge items worth a lot of money, but items that still could be rehomed versus just being thrown in the dump. Somebody could use them. We just had so much that we just couldn't even fathom trying to put everything to use. So it's a good option if you are wanting to get rid of a lot, like a whole estate, and there's too much to organize. Your demographic is going to be more like looking for the deals, but it's going to be better than just doing a garage sale, if that makes sense. And you can also do a combination. I know in Colorado, we had the estate sale. We sold a ton, but we also still had a lot of little things left. And so we then decided to do a couple garage sales. And I would say and then other than that, look at other options as far as you have thrift stores, taking things to thrift stores, but also we gave a lot away to like family and friends who might want certain things that we had. The other option is recycling centers. So in Colorado, we had an option it was called the drop and swap. And so you could take like paint and chemicals there and drop it off for free, and then people can come and pick it up for free. So that's actually how we painted our house when we first did our renovation back in Colorado. We pretty much painted it for free. Other options, so here we had a lot of scrap metal, or a lot of metal things that we didn't have use for at the time, that didn't sell at the auction. So Marcus took that and he found a scrap metal recycling area, and he actually got paid for it, for dropping it off. So that was kind of cool. The other option, we put things on Facebook Marketplace. We sold some, but a lot of it we just put it for free. Just come and get it. It saves it from going to the landfill, but somebody can use it if it's items that you're not going to use. So there's a lot of different options. And so just one of those things to think about if you are downsizing or you're moving, what kind of options do you have? Can you make some money to be able to help with your move or for future items that you need to buy? Or do you just want to get rid of it? So now hopefully that helps if you are in the market to decide whether you're going to do an auction or an estate sale. And also just another point with that is, if you are in the market for needing items, to check those out, check out garage sales, check out auctions. A really good website is auctionzip.com. You can type in your zip code and it'll pull up all of the auctions that are happening. And if you haven't experienced an auction, it's definitely something you should do sometime in your life. And a lot of them have like food trucks, and it's like an all-day event. They're fun. They're a lot of fun. Maybe I'm weird, but they're fun. You can find some great items by going to an auction or to an estate sale. We did a lot of our house was done we furnished it or had a lot of designs or decor from auctions and estate sales. So now we're going to take a look I'm just going to kind of head over to some of our old videos. It's vlog style of our experience getting ready for the auction here in southern Missouri. You can see behind me, this is our shop / barn that we went through. There's still just a lot of stuff sitting around, but it is somewhat organized chaos. And we still have one more place to go through. I'll show you the house and inside the barn. It's pretty much gone through and separated, but we still have to go through, and this one's gone through. That's the garden shed. This one we haven't even touched yet, so we still need to do that this week before the auctioneer is coming over on Thursday. The auction is set up for Sunday, and this is our first time doing an auction. Actually, we've gone to auctions, but we've never had one before. So he's coming over to set everything up, but so that way we don't get charged a lot of money for the labor. We're trying to separate everything as much as we can, and then they'll come through and really go through it and know how to set it up and separate it. So here's outside of the shop and barn. It does look messy, but it is somewhat set up in sections as far as what everything is. So we have different, liquids over there separated into automotive, garden, paints, and then we have just different decor, outdoor decor, books, all kinds of good stuff there. And in here, it still seems crazy, but we have, this section here where we've put a section, everything where the things that we're gonna keep. And we were originally trying to put everything in one building that we were gonna keep, and it just became too hard. So we were like, let's just do it in each building. So in this building, we have an area of the items that we're gonna keep, and same thing, certain areas that are like, okay, this is keep. We have it all separated into plumbing, electrical, like automotive, tools that we don't know what they are, questionable stuff. So it's just a matter of basically moving things around. That's what it feels like we're doing, but I think that's what you have to do to get going. So whether you're having an auction or just trying to organize, get rid of things, that is something that I recommend. I've always done that, even with when I was doing my clothes. is have a keep pile, a maybe pile, and a get rid of pile. And then you can break those down even further. But it's hard because you feel like you're overwhelmed. And so if you just start breaking it down, it does seem like it's kind of monotonous at the beginning because you're just moving stuff around. But that will help kind of for your brain to visually see everything. And then you can kind of go from there and be like, oh, wait, do I really need all of that stuff? Or should I keep some of these other things that I thought I might not need? But it helps visually be able to tell what you need to get rid of. Going through the outdoor shed, we haven't even done anything with this, but anybody need pencils? We're gonna sell lamps and pencils. It's the night before the auction and just kind of trying to wrap some things up around here. We feel like we have a little bit of a responsibility. We have so many leaves on the ground that we feel like we have a responsibility to kind of clean those up. So hopefully nobody gets injured and steps in a hole where there are leaves and not ground underneath it. And I am so thankful for, I guess his name's, I have his truck is over there. Jim Levins, I want to say that's his name. And he has been doing auctions for 45 years. And him and his crew came in. They just came in here and I think they were here for like only 2.5 hours yesterday. They set everything up. That's the joy of hiring people with expertise and experience. And I have mixed feelings about that because I do feel like we have lost confidence in ourselves and our abilities to be able to be sustainable and to be able to do things on our own. We feel like we always have to meet with experts and get experts' opinions rather than learning and growing and doing things ourselves. But there are definitely benefits of hiring people, especially when you've never done something before, or doing a mentorship or learning from somebody who's willing to teach you. So I'm very thankful that we did hire Jim and his crew to come in because they did this in 2.5 hours. They knew what they needed to set up, how to set it up. He has, with 45 years experience, he knew what things were gonna sell probably well, things that weren't, and just watching them organize and set everything out. And I feel like I would have done it way different. And instead of 2.5 hours, it would have taken me like 5 weeks to do it. And I would have overthought it and made it way more complicated than I needed to. So they come in tomorrow. They were only here for 2.5 hours, set up a lot of stuff. And then they were like, no. And I was like, do you need me to do this? Should I do this? They're like, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. Like, it's good. And so I think I was just overthinking a lot of things. Like, for instance, we have so much stuff behind the houses that need to come out. And they were like, no, don't pull it out. We'll just take the people over there and pull it out as we go. And I'm like, that's awesome. So it almost feels like Marcus and I are thinking, okay, we should be doing something. Are we supposed to be doing something? But they assured us it's all good. They're coming in tomorrow. The auction starts at noon. They're coming in at 8. So that gives them a few hours to get everything set up. Marcus and I will help set up things as well. And so, yeah, let's do this auction. It is auction day. There's Marcus. We're just kind of helping set up. Jim and his crew are here getting everything set up. And it's crazy. There's just, there's a lot of stuff. And, but it's kind of fun to watch them and see how they set things up and just kind of wherever they can find space. And they don't move a lot of things around. Rather than hauling things all across the yard or the property, they just leave things where they are and maybe pop up a table. So we're just gonna see how this is.
I'm gonna try to blend in like I'm one of the crowd, like so people don't know that I'm the owner.
He's gonna be cool. You should put your sunglasses on and then just be like, I'm gonna try to blend in too and not talk to people.
No, you told me last night you're gonna be like, oh, thank you for coming. I'm so glad you're here.
And this yellow that you see, this is caution tape. Because we have so many items that we are not selling and there's not really a place to put them, we just in each area kind of pushed everything to one corner, and then we're just putting caution tape over it to show that we don't want to sell that.
Got a little bit. Market about 9,500, 505.
The garden shed, we pretty much had that everything pulled out of there that we were going to sell, but right now everything's just put back in there until we come up with the system. But this was one of the treasures that I found that I absolutely love. It's like a primitive farmhouse table, and so this will be our harvesting room eventually. The shed over here, this stuff needs to go, and over here we actually decided not to sell any of this because there looks like there's some good lumber, and we just decided we'll go through it later. I'll show you inside of the shed. Before, this was packed. It is now pretty much empty. Mostly it's just some trash in here. And we go over here. This stuff was supposed to be picked up, but it's not. So we'll have to figure out what to do with that. And these are some other treasures we found. This is a cool little display table that I want to do something with, some yard stuff. And here is actually a whole thing of perlite that we can use for yard stuff. Marcus might keep this as a project. And then all of this we need to still get rid of, mostly scrap metal back here. Go into this little room, which I don't even know if I showed this on video. This is a storage room. And then back in the back is a laundry room. Didn't really do anything with the auction in here. We pulled some stuff out, but for the most part, it's just stuff that we need to get rid of. Either see if we can donate some of it, or unfortunately toss some. And in here, this is the room that we had cleaned out to put our storage in. So this is all just our storage now. But we got rid of a lot of, I think there were some lamps on the mirror, or on the wall, a mirror there. There are some things that we found like that we kept. And yeah, there's not a whole lot shown here other than we just pulled anything out that we thought we could sell, and little by little. That's it for this video. And I hope if you didn't know the difference between auctions and estate sales and garage sales, that you now know, and that if you are downsizing, you have a little bit better of an understanding, or that maybe you're just gonna go and shop at some of these places, do some, buy some things that still have a lot of life in them. You don't have to buy new all the time. Let's keep things out of the landfill. Let's keep things, so many cool items that can be refurbished or reclaimed, and let's do that. So the next videos, we will give you some updates here shortly just on our property. I'll give you a tour of what we've done so far. And then of course the tiny home build, that is our project that is underway right now, as well as a lot of the gardening and starting to grow our food. So if you are enjoying this channel and you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, hit the alarm so that you get the notifications. We so appreciate you guys being here, and hopefully you'll be here at the next video. And thank you so much. Seriously, your support means everything, and we're just glad to be here and sharing, and if it's helpful and you like it, then share with your friends as well. and we'll see you next time. Blessings.